Baloyi countered with a very good left hook there.
Well, this is a good test for Baloyi. This is a true test for Baloyi. You could see tonight he's fighting a real challenger, a guy who came to take the title away from him. And I think he needs this type of opponents if they're talking about IPF champions, guys like Carlos Hernandez.
Yes, this will bring you back up to speed, that's for sure. This is more than just a workout for Casius Baloyi. This is a real fight.
Cuts and body punches from Casius Baloyi.
Lovely compact punches from the champion. But still Cabrera keeps coming, still pounding away at that body. I think he's hoping that the layoff for Baloyi will have affected his conditioning, his stamina, and he may just fade in the latter rounds. That may be the thinking of the Argentinian camp. If he can keep punching that body, and he may take something away from Casius Baloyi as we go into the latter rounds.
Now and again you see Cabrera really holding. And of course, talking about junior lightweights, another prominent South African junior lightweight is WBC international champion, the boy from the Western Cape, Nzonke Fana. He will be watching this one with lots and lots of interest, Nzonke Fana.
Nice combination again from Casius Baloyi. Crowd loved it too.
That's what he needs to do. Throw a couple of punches and get out of town. Low blows coming in thick and fast from Cabrera.
It was a good finish to the round from Baloyi. Just looked a little more mobile. And as you say, maybe that is the way to fight Cabrera, just to throw those punches, get in and out fast.
The boy is tough. We might go 12 rounds, okay? It's a use speed. Let's get him to the leg. We're in. Let's just win the round. You know what I'm saying? We're looking good. We're winning the fight. But we need more sugar and lead like that. Right up the double leg kick. When he comes in, step one back, right up the double leg kick. Okay. Speed's brilliant because he can't match you with speed. He's very strong. If he's pushing you, what's the speed?
They haven't removed the mouth guard from Casius Baloyi. Low blows coming in thick and fast from Cabrera. Just look at that one.
The body of Baloyi is very much a target for Cabrera at the moment. He doesn't mind if he gets away with a couple of low blows. So it's been 5 rather intense rounds as we go into the 6th here.
Now it's Cabrera coming with the jab in this round. On his toes. Cabrera in the blue and white trunks, Baloyi white and maroon trunks, the IBO junior lightweight champion.
Cabrera's corner seems to have got that cut under control.
Very clear instructions coming from Brian Mitchell in the corner. He says, this guy is tough, let's just win the rounds, be prepared, we may go the distance here.
Lovely work to the body by Baloyi with the left hook. Baloyi just taking a bit of a breather inside here. He's always fought a little bit like that. Fights in spurts, Casius.
Gave us fight of the year when he fought in that epic thriller against Philip Ndo. This Casius Baloyi has always impressed.
I hear recently some rumours perhaps we might get a rematch one of these days.
Well, I'm told Philip Ndo may be fighting against another boy, a South African lightweight champion in Isaac Patrol sometime in May.
That would be quite a fight too.
Step back, box.
I would say, Nick, that's what Casius Baloyi needs. The thing that he just did, touch this guy with the jab and use the perimeter of the ring. We know Casius can box.
He's basically just trying to outbox him.
He needs to start showing his class, which we all know he's got. But again, it's that factor that you mentioned right at the beginning, the layoff, the ring rust.
Yes, I'm a little concerned how it may affect his conditioning as well. This fight has the makings now of one that may go the distance, and it could get rather tough in those later rounds. Mauling and clinching inside there. Baloyi breaks free. Gee, that head of Cabrera, you're going to have to watch that, and it's up to the referee to pick that up. Yes, warning, not before time, that's for sure.
Okay, that's good. Yes, Ron, I want you to finish with the left hook. You know when you're turning on the ropes and you're nailing with the right hand, finish with the left hook. That was good. A bit more body work though. 6 down now, going to round 7. After fight, falling into you, okay? So, back uppercut, big right uppercut. He falls into you, okay? You'll get your second win now. Let's box a bit now, okay? Enjoy yourself out there. Start jabbing a bit more. Long jab. You can't match your boxing. Hold the center of the ring. Box a bit, in the center of the ring. When he falls in, right uppercut, double it. More speed. You need that sugar element speed. You did it in round 6. In round 5. I want you to do it in round 7 now. You're looking good. You're winning easy. Go enjoy yourself. It's round 7, eh? Round number 7.
Well, maybe just a point or two between the two fighters at this stage. Close.
Now Casius is really trying to use the jab, use the perimeter of the ring. He certainly is a much better boxer than Cabrera, but he's been made to fight in the trenches.
I think that's a credit to Cabrera. He's come here to take the title. Cabrera just doesn't want to give him punching room there at all.
Casius just waiting just a little bit too long with his jab.
Yeah, it's almost as if he's looking for Cabrera to make the first move. He doesn't want to lead with a jab, Baloyi. Maybe you're right. He's making a little bit of a mistake there, tactical mistake.
Cabrera's corner has done a wonderful job on the card, not really troubling the boxer. Good combinations from Casius, left and right hand.
Well, Cabrera left himself open for that. Oh, terrific left hook inside from Baloyi. Again, there was a grimace on the face of Cabrera. He certainly felt it. Now, we're seeing signs that Baloyi starting to take control. There was a stinging right hand he landed too. Now maybe if he can take the fight to the Argentinian, it would turn into a different fight.
Always in control when there's a reasonable distance between the two fighters. That's when you see the best of Casius Baloyi.
Caught Cabrera again with a left hook. This is turning into a good round. The clean punches are coming from Baloyi.
Cabrera may be piling on the pressure. It is Baloyi with the clean punches. It is Baloyi with precise punching, like that good body flow.
Oh, terrific right hand again. Good hand speed from the champion.
He's doing the Sugar Ray Leonard's hand speed that Michel talked about.
Crowd love it too. Very good finish from Casius Baloyi at the bell there, Ron.
Excellent round. Hand speed's good. That's good. Don't put it around. They don't scream hand speed. Just to record a 1 minute and start, then you open up your hand speed of yours. Está bien, Juan. Pasa la cabeza.
Just a sign that perhaps Baloyi's picking it up now.
The crowd on its feet here, singing, jumping for joy. Here comes the hand speed of Casius Baloyi, the hitman, turning Cabrera against the ropes.
Well, Cabrera must have thrown 5-6 punches as he came in there, but only 2 counted, and they were from Baloyi. Terrific right-hand counter as Cabrera was caught coming in.
Just try there.
Baloyi seems to have upped his game now. There's a lead right hand from Baloyi that lands. Cabrera's tough though, as you would expect from an Argentinian. Certainly got a very proud boxing history, Argentina, for breeding the tough men. Baloyi allowing himself there, I think, to be backed onto the ropes.
It's an opportunity though for him to take a breather. Cabrera has set a blistering pace to this fight, really forcing the pace of the fight. Even sometimes not landing the blows, but lying on Baloyi, causing Baloyi to work.
You are holding with this hand. Don't hold with this hand.
Well, no points taken from Cabrera yet, but he's not far away from having a point deducted, I think. Numerous warnings now. The head especially gets very low at times. He's been warned for punching low. Focus on the ropes as Baloyi again gets the better of that exchange. That wasn't happening in the first couple of rounds.
But again, Nick, the left jab is lacking from Casius Baloyi. He's waiting for me just a little bit too much. Taking a role of a counter puncher, waiting for the Argentinian to make mistakes.
Which he's naturally happy to do. I remember there was a time when Brian Mitchell had him coming forward more as a fighter, more of an aggressive type fighter, if you will. And I always thought that Cassius' more natural style was the counterpunch. But Brian, in defense of Brian, what he was trying to do at the time was turn him into a more complete fighter. And I think he's got that ability now to come forward when need be.
Hasn't done enough work to the body, Casius Baloyi, to slow the Argentinian down, who is holding all the time.
Crowd didn't like that either. You heard the roars coming in. It's been a very lively crowd too. They've seen some very good boxing here this evening. Baloyi digs in a shot to the body. And I thought for a moment Cabrera was going to hold on. See, for me, the cleaner punch is now coming in from the South African world champion. Of course, we have neutral judges here this evening.
And we have lovely, beautiful girls from Vodacom.
Yes, we do. An eye for the ladies, haven't you? And here's another man with an eye for the ladies. Ron, yes.
Mete la izquierda bien. Pasa para acá y manda la derecha. No te encimé. Saca el culo atrás.
More of that speed's brilliant. Let's see some jabbing. 1-2 left hooks. 1-2 left uppercut. Left uppercut. Try that. In the center of the ring. 1-2 in the center of the ring. 1-2 left uppercut. Left hook. Left uppercut. Left hook. Let's see it.
Well, these rounds have been going by rather fast. We're into the 9th already. And I think Casius Baloyi has just started to pull ahead now. Close fight through the first 6 rounds.
Would like to be a fly on the wall and just peep and see how Ron's scorecard is looking up to now.
Good left hook from Casius Baloyi, jolting left hook. He's not a knockout artist, Casius, but he's got respectable power. Cabrera also has pretty fair share of opponents down and out. That's a good right hand again from Casius Baloyi. Pinpoint.
Cassius has settled into this role of being counter-puncher. We talked in the first round about the ring rust not showing. It is in this stage of the fight that it is really beginning to show.
Oh, there's a little right hand going in there as referee Mendoza called for a break, and apparently a lot of Spanish being spoken by Cabrera to Baloyi at the moment. I hadn't picked that up, but the referee asking Cabrera to shut it, keep it quiet. Went 12 rounds with Michael Brody, did Cabrera. Michael Brody is a fine featherweight. Had that amazing fight with injured Chi not so long ago.
You couldn't recognize both boxers after that fight.
It was a terrible fight.
Cut faces.
Unbelievable fight.
Step back. Box.
Baloyi really breathing heavily.
Well, this is a concern of mine. The conditioning may just be a factor in the latter rounds. And certainly the active Cabrera, and he's been very active really by comparison with Baloyi. Looks as if he can keep this pace going for 12 rounds.
And he also has a useful left hook to the body and spoiling tactics. Still wondering, he was in our studios, could hardly hear any English. Ace Makaluza insists really on speaking to this guy in English. Nice flurry from Cassius. There is Marcelo in the corner. Perhaps when push comes to shove, that's what the referee needs to do. Go to Marcelo just to pass the instruction on to Cabrera.
There's certainly a lot of pushing and shoving going on at the moment. Most of it coming from Cabrera. Looks good when that jab lands, Baloyi. Tape coming loose on the glove of Baloyi at the moment.
He's looking good, Nick, at the end of this round. Casius Baloyi, the hit man.
Well, I was a bit concerned about him the first half of the round, but he certainly finished the round quite strongly.
I said I would like to be a fly on the wall and see how Ron Jackson has the boxers on his scorecards leading up to now. It's been an interesting fight. Here is the scorecard is being updated by Ron Jackson.
Okay, round 10, guys. 9 minutes, that's all. Enjoying yourself, you're looking good. Give me 9 minutes of sugar, eh? Okay. Brilliant. Excellent. When you run that's fast, okay?
Round number 10.
Cabrera up off his stool, eager to go. Baloyi waits a little bit longer. Water down in the corner of Casius Baloyi, quite a bit of it too. A breather in favour of Baloyi here.
Corners soaked in water. Corners of both fighters.
Well, it's certainly turned into a very good scrap, this. Cabrera lands a left hook. Busy fighter, this man from the Argentine. Set a good pace and he's managed to sustain it.
If you cast your mind back, Nick, to Casius' days early in his career, he was never really known as a big puncher. At that time was also known as Mr. Shy Guy. Very good, shifty boxer. It's when he joined Prime Michel that he was turned into a hitman. And like you correctly said, also taught to fight going forward and command at the center of the ring.
Yeah, in an effort to make him a more complete fighter.
But whilst working with guys like Nick Durant as well as Elias Chabalala, who's walked away from boxing, he was more of a moving fighter, this Baloyi.
I remember seeing him fight as an amateur, and more than any other amateur we've produced, I think certainly over the last 10 years or so, 15 years or so, he impressed me. I mean, he had some moves that were unbelievable then as an amateur. It was just completely natural. Couldn't teach it.
But now you see he stands, digs his feet into the crowd, doesn't really use his legs, because that's what he needs in this fight. The ability to use the perimeter of the ring. He's given that up.
Of course, he had to bounce back from that horrific hijacking incident where he shot in the leg, and I wondered what that was going to do to his mobility around the ring, but that seems to be, thankfully, something of the past. Just backing off at the moment, Casius. I think he's feeling the pace of this fight, that's for sure. He just wants to pace himself through the bell. Doesn't want to allow Cabrera back into this fight, because although Ron's got him ahead on points, I must emphasise we've got judges that are supposedly neutral here tonight. They may just be seeing the work rate of Cabrera's as being impressive.
Well, one of the judges is a lady judge from the Eastern Cape, Miss Vabaza, judging this world title fight.
Along with two judges from overseas. In Cabrera using that head, that upper body strength to muscle Baloyi back onto the ropes.
Too many warnings now to Juan Cabrera. Runs the risk of having a point deducted from him.
I would imagine, though, in every fight he fights, Cabrera must have his fair share of warnings, because he is a fighter. He's basically a fighter. He comes forward, head down, and punches.
Look how useful the jab is from Baloyi.
I was about to say sweet jab from Baloyi. Again, though, it's this kind of round where you may lean towards the work rate of Cabrera. Baloyi didn't do an awful amount in that round.
Okay, 6 minutes, round 11, okay. It's going to be lots of speed now, lots of speed.
Miss Vabaza from the Eastern Cape, one of the judges here tonight. A rare thing to see a lady judge involved as a judge in a world title fight in this country.
Just behind her to the right, we just caught a glimpse of a lady wearing traditional headgear and traditional dress, and she was singing the Argentinian national anthem. There she is there in picture, singing away in Spanish, the Argentinian national anthem. I was quite impressed by that. Maybe she just liked the tune, I don't know.
And you were looking at her whilst I was concentrating here.
Round 11 already. Cabrera sensing that perhaps he's behind on points and needs a big finish. Baloyi needs to be busy though these last two rounds. I don't think he can afford to give away these last two rounds. He'll turn it into a very, very close fight.
Can't give away anything, Nick. In fact, he needs to pick up his own work rate, because judges are different. Others are just being impressed by the busy style of Cabrera.
There's a warning again. If a point gets taken away from Cabrera, though, that could seriously affect him. And he's close to having a point taken. Yes, I agree with you. I think Baloyi does need to pick it up. We're in the 11th now, so if he has taken just 1 or 2 rounds off just to pace him through to the final bell, he should have plenty in the tank now.
Well, 17 up to 18 months is a long time without a fight. It is showing now, no matter how much sparring you could have, without a competitive boxing fight, this is exactly what happens. It's showing on Casius Baloyi.
And it's been a very competitive fight, that's for sure. Nice combination by Baloyi. Set up behind the jab. Now, can he pick it up?
Keep the distance and establish the jab, Casius. That would be the key.
He can afford to pick it up now, Baloyi, because he's not risking anything at this stage of the fight from a stamina point of view. He's only a round to go. Right goes in from Baloyi. That was the clean punch in that combination. For me, that's been the difference between the two fighters. The cleaner shots have come from Baloyi. But Cabrera has worked harder. Baloyi backs off, allows Cabrera in. Mistake, I think, at this stage of the fight.
Took a right hand as well whilst doing that from Cabrera.
Corner really urging Baloyi to pick up the work rate. Don't do that. You don't want to see him back off at this stage of the fight. Only 30 seconds left in this 11th, and then it's a round to go. Look at Cabrera. Looks like a man possessed at times.
And he looks so strong, this Juan Cabrera. He looks really tough.
Yeah, he's an Argentinian tough. You see that coming in. He's doing his best to try and steal the round. Well, Ron, that's an interesting round, that. How did you score that one?
This one bigger, yes. Winning the fight, this last round in start.
The important thing is that the judges agree with you from the South African point of view, obviously. So look at Ron's card there, 107-103, so it's a 4-point fight, which means Cabrera needs a knockout in this last round. I wouldn't be quite as wide as Ron, I'm not sure. I've got this perhaps a 3-point fight, Cabrera, but I don't think there's a huge amount of confidence. I'm just a little worried about the judges ringside. They may be impressed by the work rate of Cabrera. So here we go, final round. Big finish, big call by both fighters. Let's see if Casius Baloyi can get working. There's that mouthpiece again that is late coming for Cabrera. It's in the middle of the canvas at the moment, which is not really the ideal place for it at this stage of the fight. Crowd have enjoyed this one. In fact, they've enjoyed a very good evening's boxing here on Supersport. Well, you at home have.